Foch arrives at Chaumont, Pershing's headquarters, to discuss this great American offensive into Saint-Mihiel with a possibility of going to Metz.
Pershing has to show that when American forces are committed, they'll be successful. There's also, of course, pressure from Washington that you've got to succeed.
President Wilson is the commander-in-chief. Now, he's given direction to Pershing that he wants the United States Army to fight as an independent force. It must keep its own autonomy, and this will ensure that the United States has a position at the peace table.
When Pershing meets with Foch in less than 2 weeks before the launch of the Saint-Mihiel offensive, Pershing is expecting to go over final plans. Instead, the Allied commander-in-chief drops a bombshell on him.
Our boys have been working around the clock. New roads, new railways, new hospitals, all constructed in record time.
I am sure your plans are excellent, but I am here to tell you why they are no longer needed.
Foch changes his plans because of the circumstances on the ground. The German offensives in the spring and summer have reduced their ability to fend off Allied counterattacks. He wants American divisions to be used for part of his 100 Days offensive in the Meuse-Argonne sector, and that means that Pershing is gonna have to cut his attack short or cancel it altogether. And in a very tense 2-hour meeting, both men make their arguments.
What if both are possible?
I fail to see how.
May I? If we remove the Saint-Mihiel salient, it'll get rid of the German risk in that area. They won't be able to flank us. So our offensive in Saint-Mihiel will actually strengthen your offensive. If you agree, I assure you, my men will handle Saint-Mihiel and be ready for your operation in the Meuse-Argonne.
Oui.
Good.
So what he does is he trades off the larger objective of Metz. We will close off the salient, and I will use the time then to get my troops in position to support the larger Allied offensive.
Foch grudgingly allows Pershing to continue on with the Saint-Mihiel operation, but the caveat is he has to be in position to attack into the Meuse-Argonne by the 26th of September.
So now General Pershing is responsible not for just running the American offensive, but running the American offensive in conjunction with the French and the British offensive. So Saint-Mihiel is risky for Pershing because if it bogs down in any way, if it is not successful in any way, it'll throw doubt in all the Allies' minds that the Americans can pull this off.
The Saint-Mihiel offensive is different because there's a rather large air component to it, led by Billy Mitchell, who is the honcho of the AEF's fledgling Air Corps. Billy Mitchell will lead the largest air armada of the war in the opening moments of the Saint-Mihiel to cause havoc with the enemy positions and develop intelligence on enemy forces. The Battle of Saint-Mihiel begins with an artillery barrage.
The 1st Division's waiting in their trench. They're hearing the bombardment on either sides of them. The way the front was set up is you had 2 lines of trenches, German and Allied, and in between was no man's land. Just this strip of hell, of shell craters, mud, pieces of corpses that had been human beings being gnawed by rats.
Knowing they're going to be asked to go over the top and go into that no man's land, which is going to be swept by machine guns if the artillery preparatory fires aren't sufficient. How horrific, frankly, that must have been.
Soldiers! The This is your chance to make your country proud. Hold tight. Stay with your unit. You understand me? Ellis, I'm counting on you. Yes, sir. All right. Yes, sir. That's it, lads. Bennett, you're gonna be fine. Here we go. Got everything. Private Bennett. Where's your pack? Run that up, Private. Come on. Time to move. Over the top, man. Go, go, go. Move, move.
St. Mihiel goes fairly well for the Allies. They have massive numbers. They have 550,000 men. They got 3,700 artillery pieces. They got 300 plus tanks. They have nearly 1,500 aircraft.
In the first 4 hours, 3,000 American guns fire 1 million shells, basically obliterating the German and Austrian trenches. And Billy Mitchell is able to orchestrate total air superiority over the St. Mihiel salient, giving them really good visibility on what the Germans are doing, tracking the German movements inside the salient, and then the waves of infantry advance quickly. The Americans inflict casualties and make themselves suffer massive casualties. But the Germans are retreating out of the salient.
Sergeant Michael Ellis is perhaps in the most skilled division in the American Expeditionary Force, the 1st Infantry Division. And they get the tough missions. And one of the tough missions is mopping up, getting the last of those German soldiers that are still in fighting positions. You have to be thinking on your feet and understand who's the guy who's really surrendering and who's the guy who's surrendering and other Germans are gonna come and kill you.
Return fire! Return fire, Private! Cease fire! Cease fire! Cease fire, Jones! Cease fire! Jones, bastards! Jones, calm down, Jones! Oh, Jones! Jones, calm down! Calm down! Jones, calm down! Let's go! Stand down! Let's go! Come on! Move!
At St. Mihiel, the Americans met much less resistance than they anticipated. And the battle is effectively over after 2 days.